afternoon, everyone. It is Wednesday, October 6th, 2021 at 3 o'clock p.m. And that means it's time for Women in Business. And y'all, the drought is over. There's like an actual guest here. I can't even stand it. I'm so excited. So I'm not going to waste any time talking to you about stuff that I want to talk about because we want to talk to her. So my guest today is Jerilee Medearis, and she started in the embroidery industry in 1998 with a Husqvarna Viking sewing machine, which is harder to say than you might think. In 1999, she purchased a Tajima and digitizing software. Digitizing was her passion, not production, so she digitized. Her favorite work was for the interior design community, and she's had designs in Architectural Digest, that's pretty cool, several times under the name of the interior designer who ordered the design. In 2008, she started an email group called Threadwork, and it's still in existence. She doesn't digitize anymore as she had a tumor which caused memory loss, and she couldn't remember how to use the software. And that's something that we definitely need to talk about a little bit because she told me part of this story before we went live, and it's quite a story. And the tumor has been removed, yay. But she didn't go back to digitizing. She now manufactures tools and other items for the embroidery industry. She also 3D prints items for the industry and ferments foods. So there is quite a resume for you. Let's pop her in here. Hi, Jerilee.
Hi, Christine.
I'm so excited that you're here.
Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's been, you told me a little bit of your story before we started, but the first thing I want to start with, because you've been in the industry for a while.
Yeah.
So what do you, and I hate these kind of questions, but I'm kind of interested to know what your answer will be. What do you think is the biggest change between when you started and now? Is it the equipment? Is it the products? Is it the behavior of the people?
Yes, I've noticed when I came in, people were really not into sharing at all. They did not share anything. They were really tense. And if you wanted to know something, they would just as soon, send you out on a short pier off, I like just send you into the drink and not help you. They would sabotage you almost sometimes. But then came there was a group out there called, the Fun Club, the Floriani Fun Club, and Walter Floriani. And
yep, I know him.
Yes. And when I found that, I fell into Candyland. It was just like an embroidery Candyland. You had to pay for the ride, and I was glad to pay for the ride. So I bought admission to his group, and there I found the friendliest, nicest people in the industry. Which to me, I was pretty new, but I had fought my way up. I mean, because that's what you do. That's what you do
Sure.
when you don't know anything, like we've all done. When we don't know, when people don't share, what do? You work to get your information, you make a lot of mistakes, and you lose a lot of money. But if you're persistent, you'll get there. Well, I got there by finding that group, and it was a lifeline. He shared designs. He had like a fun club pack or something. I forget now, but it was a lifetime membership that really never was. But, we all liked that idea, and it was a fun thought. But he did like a get together once a year in locations. So he did these little conventions. So he was the start of it. And I dubbed him the father of modern embroidery at the time. He did become, because, his family was in it for 6 generations.
So, he was pretty big.
Yeah, and DJ Anderson, that's a guy now that you might, he'd have to change his gender to get here. But anyway, he mentored under Walter for like 8 years before Walter passed.
Okay.
His underling, or like not underling, that's not the right word, but his guy, his sidekick, his dude.
Right.
And so he learned a ton. And so that guy is out there now. And when I see things from DJ, or he says something, or he explains something about a design, he's channeling Walter. I mean, through and through. It's like his mini him. But anyway, that's where I started. And through that, I segued into the family that we know now in embroidery of openness and kindness and sharing. Walter broke that wall. He punched it down. People didn't like it. There was a lot of upsettedness in the old timers, in the old school, which now I'm the old guard. But luckily, and you as well, or the old guard, we're that, we are those people now. But luckily for me, and I think for you, I think you came in around the same time, didn't you?
I got into the industry in 2006.
Oh, okay. So
I was a little later.
Yeah. Well, so you're kind of there, but like for us, it's like, we are what was preventing knowledge. We are those people now. The gates are wide open. There's it's lows.
Yeah. Well, and I think honestly, social media helped a lot with that too, because when we started, it wasn't what it is now.
No, we had to do everything by email, and and then he had moderated groups, so you'd have to wait for either he or his son or whoever to poop them through. So yeah, it was really, it was like sitting there waiting. Yeah, it was like sitting there waiting for your daily fix of embroidery stuff, only doing it electronically and never knowing when it was going to pop in the email box. But really, that's what we did. So it was a lot of fun.
Well, and I think there's a good point about, because I hear this a lot from people who've been around for a while, that, there was once this culture of we never shared, and we didn't, if we learned a secret, we never told anybody else. And, it was all about, I'm going to get mine and you can figure it out yourself and all that. And then this real groups like, Embroidery Nerd, which we're going to talk about a little later, My Women in Garment Decoration, there's a zillion of them. The embroidered clothing community, there's a bunch of them that are out there that are really just all about helping people.
Yes. And that to me is what probably changed the biggest was I think those when you experience drought, you want to spigot. And Walter to me was a really great, he was the person who was like, nope, I'm breaking down those walls. And that really, many have come after him, and there were those before him. But for me, that was the one who shot through the wall and started the flush, the big surge of information, because embroidery is an art, embroidery is a craft, embroidery is to be loved, it's to be loved. And you can't do that if people act like it's some kind of a big secret. Yeah, we all have our marks, it's like any cook in the kitchen. It's like you're cooking up something, whatever it is. If you're designing, you have your tell. Everybody who embroiders has it. And that goes down to the person who is the operator putting the garment on the machine. They have their tell. Every single person does. They will put the backing a certain way, or they'll hoop it a certain. Everybody has a and I could not have ever done just being an operator. I'd gnaw my arm off, honestly. I just couldn't do it. It's too rote for me. I have to have a lot on at all times. So which is like, it's really very crazy up in there, but I have a lot going. So it's like, I could never just stand there and do this. But for some other people, that's like the perfect thing. And that's what gives them that relaxation. That's not where I find mine. So.
Well, and I think it's nice that this industry has so many different parts, so everybody can find their piece of it.
There's a lot. Yeah.
And I want to say hi to a few people here, just because we got Carolyn is here.
Carolyn,
and your buddy and mine, Jeff.
Jeff.
And Gosta from Sweden, who shows up every week. I love you, Gosta. Thank you. Oh. And Wendy says, afternoon, looking forward to this conversation. And Carolyn says, I love sharing and helping others create beautiful things. And Carolyn she does a great, in the Women in Garment Decoration group, she does a great Tuesday Tools where she shares tips and how she does the amazing creations that she does. And I love those. And Cindy's making me laugh here. Cindy says, good afternoon, sitting on the phone on hold. Be there soon.
Come when you can. Well, Carolyn's been in the industry for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
So I know her from way back as well. And I don't even know if maybe we met through the Walter circle, but she's been around for, I think maybe we did.
She's been around for a while.
Long time. So yeah.
And Letty is here too. Good to see you guys. So thank you all for being here. And if you have questions or comments, please jump in. You know the drill, everybody. But what I really love, Carolyn just made me laugh. She says, I'm old.
Well, yeah, me too. So that's okay.
We all are kind of. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
We're wise. We're not old. We're seasoned.
Yeah, there you go. We've learned a lot. Actually, I really have no problem with my age because I feel like I worked hard to become this person, so I'm all right with it.
That's exactly how I feel too. That I am who I am because of everything I've done. And
yep.
Age gets a bad rap in America. I'm going to tell you.
It does. And I think that's sad because somebody asked me the other day, well, wouldn't you want to be like 20 again? And I was like, oh God, no.
Oh my God. Are you kidding? 67 makes me happy. I'm a very, very happy lady.
I'm 52 and I like myself probably better now than I ever have, which I think that's a whole show we have to do at some point is like all these old dames out there going, yay.
Well, one thing that I hear okay, so I don't know why this just came up, but it is. But you know that term, embroidery grandma, embroidery granny?
I've heard it. Yeah, I don't like it.
It's like, stop.
It's very stereotypical. It's kind of, that's a whole thing. I've been talking with your compatriots, the male members of your group, the embroidery nerds, about coming on the show and talking about the crap they get because they're guys and they embroider and they go to quilt stores and stuff. And I'm like, my God, we need to do a show on that. Because
here's what's interesting in our little gig is there's 4 of us on the admin team, and 3 of us are designers, and we work in thread and have our machines and we do all the fabric and we know all that. And one of us is a tool designer and goes up and hangs out in screw shops and CNC shops and gets into the oil of it and goes and watches and sees how everything's made and makes sure that everything is just right. I'm the tool babe.
Yeah, I was going to say the one that you would think would not be that is the one that is, but it's
nobody expects that. And when I say, I work with 3 dudes who embroider and do designs, it's like, yeah, I know it's all flipped around, but I love it because, well, it's kind of hard what am I saying? Okay, women and men. Being a woman in any industry is a challenge, and it's just how it is. And I don't care how broad of a paintbrush I'm using there. It's as big as it needs to be because that is the fact. It's just the fact. Now, women have been coming up and we've been doing what we need to. And it's really quite funny to me. I don't know if I could have done it when I was younger. I think I would have gotten annoyed a lot.
Probably.
But now when these guys are like, oh yeah. And I'm like, yeah. And so then they're like, oh yeah. Then they're like, oh, she knows. And then I gain the respect, but I have to really work for it. But what I enjoy is watching them go, this little chick here is doing all that. She knows about that. She does that. What? I mean, it's like, yeah. So quit stereotyping women, guys. Just because of our gender doesn't mean that we're not extremely viable, and that I don't want to go bake a cake. I mean, I can bake a mean cake because I used to.
Me too, but I don't want to do it either.
Yeah, I used to actually own a cake decorating business. I worked for Wilton Industries, the cake decorating.
Good grief. Yeah, well, here's the thing that I like about what you just said, which is the whole thing of when are we going to get over this idea that there are some occupations or some ways of thinking or some things that we do that are guy things and some things that we do that are female things. And it's like, embroidery has no gender. Designing tools has no gender. You don't have to have a penis to be able to use a tool. You don't have to have ovaries to be able to embroider a shirt.
Yes. This is what I'm going to look forward to you interviewing the guys, because I know that I think Eric's going to be in that one also, right?
Yes, that's the plan.
Yes. And I know that, like in some of his talks, when he talks about somebody and he's like, yeah, this is Erica. Yeah. People think he's Erica. And I know Jeff must get it, and Matthew and Justin. I mean, it's just, they have as much gender bias that they receive as we do. However, for women, it's not relegated to just one subject matter. We have defined areas where we belong.
Yeah, which don't get me started on that, or we'll be here all day.
That's what we're doing. That's what this is all about, is coming here and telling people and other women that are coming up, the young women coming up, that that's not how it is. And I will tell you.
Well,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, finish what you were going to say, but then I have a question.
Well, I will tell you that me being where I am, I couldn't do it without my 3 teammates. And that's
right.
Matthew, Justin, and Jeff. Okay.
Right.
Those guys are behind me all the way. And they raise me and help me do what I need to do without ever a thought. And they're my guys. They're my team. And I wouldn't be a successful nerd without my nerdins or whatever.
Your nerdlings. I
love
it.
Well, no, don't call them that. I'll get it for that. No. Uh-oh. They're the head nerds. I'm just the one after. But anyway, go ahead with your question.
Well, the question I wanted to ask you, because I was thinking about this, and then after I ask you the question and you answer me, we have to do some comments. But did anybody encourage you like to use tools or learn about that stuff when you were younger? Or was this just a facility that you found on your own that you were like, okay, I'm good at this?
I have always enjoyed stuff. And my youngest memory was when I was about 3 or 4, I was at my grandma's and I received a piece of mail. And back in the day, and you don't see them anymore, but at least I haven't in years, but there were postcards that had a squeaky in it and you could mail those. And so the kid who was the receiver got this thing. It had a little spring and it was an animal in front and it would go, well, I took that apart. I wanted to see how that worked. And I believe I probably took apart a clock once too, but I got in trouble for that postcard. My grandmother was so angry with me because I had ruined it. And I'm like, ruined it? I wanted to see how it worked. And I never had that conversation, but no, nobody ever. I grew up with a single mom. I had several stepdads, but none of them were, come on, buddy, let's go do a car or anything like that. But I learned because I'm kind of really a curious soul and how things work. And what to me it is the making things like, I don't know, it's just the preciseness maybe, because I'm not a real precise person. I'm very artistic. I'm all over the place. My personality is big. I have just oodles of energy, but this kind of a thing makes me focus. It's like getting precision. Okay. I have to focus. I have to.
Right.
And then I go there. It's like what digitizing did for me. It's like I would be in a design and hours would go by and suddenly I'd have to go use the ladies' room or I'd be thirsty or whatever. And 5 hours had gone. And so focused. And to me, it's the precision. And like this, I do this because it's colorful. I can do it in any color, but I want happiness. So I do rainbow.
There you go. I like it. Yeah. But I like that thing that you just said about it kind of quiets your mind and it gives you a focus, because I have the same kind of mind that you do.
Yeah.
I live in my head. I'm thinking of things all the time. Writing is what does it for me.
Okay.
I put words together and I make up stories, and I can lose an entire day to that if I'm really going good, because it's just everything else goes away and there's just that.
Yes.
So I think you found your thing when you get to that state, when you're like, this is my thing.
You can't get off of that. You can't move. Even when you want out so bad that you have tears and you have a blockage and you can't get past that point, but you won't lay it down. And that's because it's your soul. And when you find that, you found life. That's the answer to life. If somebody wants to know why we're here, that's it, man. That's why we're here. We're here to find that and to live fully, because when we do, everybody else around us lives fully.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, I've been writing a lot on LinkedIn recently about the fact that how I was always kind of shy and very quiet until I started the show. And then I'm like tackling people in the middle of conventions going, come be on my show. I never would have done that.
I never once, I always found we didn't meet until Texas, which I'm just so glad we did.
Right.
But I never saw you that way. Your persona through your writing is you here. And so
I think I've learned to be the most authentic that I've ever been, but I was very shy. I never would have spoken up. And now I'm like, yeah, woo, let's go. But anyway, let's see. We have more comments here that I want to hit. Carolyn says, hell no to being 20 from our conversation before.
Sure.
And Tanya says, I'm going to be 50 at the end of the month. I'm better in some respects now than in the past.
Yep.
Jeff says, not those guys, LOL. And he also is looking forward to doing the show that he's going to do with the guys.
I cannot wait for that, because I'll tell you, if you've ever, did you watch that live that we did after the Fort Worth thing?
I haven't seen it. No, I have had it on my list to watch, but just being around you guys in person was so fun.
With 5 of us in the same room, I'm telling you, you're going to have such a blast. When Jeff told me, he said, yeah, I think we're going to do that. And I said, oh my God, you better fasten your seatbelt, young lady.
Yeah, I'm going to be in trouble. And Cindy says, now I can watch and listen. I did notice on the GSG website that the Medearis is available. Yay.
Oh, yay.
And Letty says, you are a trailblazer in so many ways. It's not a gender thing. It's a thirst for knowledge and variety. And I totally agree with that.
Yep.
And let's see what else. Carolyn said, creating tools has something directly tied to knowing the craft you are using it for. So you are a master at tools for us. There you go. That's your master tool maker. That's your new title. I like that.
I like that. I like that a lot, because it's really fun to be on this end of the industry. It's wild over here. And it's so fun to see the mechanics and how things work and the machinery and what can be produced. Like, I came up with yet another idea yesterday.
Ooh. Well, first I want to get in one quick thing. Adam says hello.
Hi, Adam. Hey, listen. Okay, so if nobody knows who Adam is, have you ever talked about Adam here?
I have not talked about Adam here, but I have talked to Jeff about doing a young entrepreneurs version of this show and having him, and there's a couple of other young kids or young adolescents who are running their own businesses. And I thought that would be really fun to have a show about that.
One moment, please.
What the heck happened?
Susie's I don't know what's going on. Oh, it's okay. You can come through. I have a roommate, Susie, and she's trying to hide, but she's
fine.
And she's like trying to be really quiet, and I'm not allowing it. But anyway, let me tell you about Adam for a second. Adam is not even an adolescent. This child is 10. Okay.
I know.
10 years old. Why is this important? The kid digitizes, y'all. The child digitizes. Adam, don't shoot me for calling you a child, honey, but you're a child. And for you to be coming up at 10 years old, everybody needs to stand back and watch this one. Adam Fuller. Now, I will say, I predicted the same thing about his daddy, and I was right.
Well, there you go.
But Adam Fuller is an up-and-comer, and you need to keep your eye on him. He sews things on his own. I mean, like, he creates gi chains. I happen to have one. He makes his own. He's working on making his own hats. He does his own digitizing. I mean, listen, I'm not even going to break out everything this kid does. You need to have him on the show. Anyway.
Well, apparently Adam says he would love to be on the show, so that's good. And Cindy says, Adam, your keychain was sewn so superiorly. I don't even know if that's a word, but I like it.
It is now, superiorly. We like it.
Superiorly. I like it. It's good. Yes. I love it. But okay, not to get derailed. See, I told you this is going to happen. We get derailed.
I don't mind sharing the stage with the 10-year-old digitizer.
I mean, you know, all of you guys in the embroidery nerd group and all the stuff that you all are doing, I love it all. And I want to get to that. But first, I want to talk about, I got to get my banner here. This Sunfacer Manufacturing, because
go there. That's this 100% woman owned, 100% USAF veteran. I'm a USAF veteran. Yes, I was in the Air Force. Yeah, they got a lot of me. They said, "Oh my Lord, let this child go." Eventually, after my turn. But anyway, USAF veteran, 100% woman owned company. All my stuff is made in the USA. I own Hook Wash, Needleys, the donut caddy.
3D Puff Pro.
Oh, I'm a partner in that. I own.
You're a partner in that.
It's Midge. Justin Armenta, one of my nerd guys. I invented that. Okay, so Justin Armenta. Let me here. Hang on. I have one. Of course, don't you know? Just a second. There's my one moment. Sorry, I should have all.
That's fine.
I should be popping all this stuff up as I'm talking about it.
We need props.
We're going to unwrap one, okay? I just moved, and so it's been really exciting around here. But this thing, I wrap everything. So to me, when somebody is buying something, it's a present.
Sure.
So I wrap everything, and I don't take that money to wrap things out of, I don't add on, okay? So
right.
Because that's something I would be suspicious of. Yeah, but are you taking more money and adding it to that so you can make things pretty than just don't? No, I don't. I go to the dollar store.
Yeah, we can live without the pretty if it's going to save us the money.
Yeah, but I go to the
pretty is nice, but.
Yeah, but I go to the dollar store. It doesn't cost anybody anything. I take that out of mine because I want to do it. It's my selfish thing. So
sure.
Anyway, so I send everything wrapped. But this is the 3D Puff Pro tool that Justin conceived of in his brain, because he and several others are Puff Pro kings and queens.
Mm-hmm.
He conceived of it and he shared the information. Jeff actually created one by hand. Okay, so it was really
oh wow.
Yeah, he created one by hand out of stainless steel. Matthew drew the technical drawings, and I went up to my it's called Another Screw Company. I
love it.
I do honestly hang out in screw shops. I'm not joking, but I went to Another Screw Company, and all of them are called screw companies if they do round things. Okay.
Right.
Because they have to use round things to get through there. Then there's the flat kind, which is fabricating. I mean, I know a lot about that kind of thing.
Right.
I went up there and they started dialing it in. And the first one that came, so ultimately what happened with this tool is I stood there as we decided how much knurling was on. I have one of the prototypes. There's only a few, and they are not going anywhere. Jeff has one, Justin has one, I have one, and Matthew has one. And because we're the four that worked on it. But
right.
But so I stood there in that screw shop for half a day while we figured out the grooves that are in here are cut to my specs. And that's because they angle a little bit. And so you can grab it, but it angles just a little bit. And so it makes this really cool, it's a neat design, but it also is a little grippier. This back here, this is a flange that is made to not cut your thread or anything like that, any material snag or anything, but it had to be extremely thin. So I stood in there while they used this.
Wow.
I don't know what the machine is. And we dialed it down to this width. And I stood there while they did it and did it and did it and did it and did it. And watch that come out. The point here is like on a crochet hook or knitting needle. So it doesn't harm anything. But we stood there and so we went through this, and then we got approval from Justin because he was the original. He's the designer. He knew exactly what he needed, what he wanted. And if there was a screw shop in the country that could do it, it's my screw shop. And
right.
Some crazy stuff. These guys are okay. Listen, they're crazy North Idahoans. I'm not going to joke you. So if it can be done, and I'm not kidding about that. If it can be done, these guys will go the extra however many miles they need to do it to get it done because it's a challenge.
Sure.
And so they do that for me. And they also make the handles of my needlies. But anyway, that's what this is. And Justin owns the majority of it, and as he should. We were going to go pretty even on it, and I disagreed with that because he was the inventor. I was the one who was able to get it done, and I ship them, and I'm the one who pushes them out, and I'm the wrapper.
I love this because, I mean, first of all, the insight into how you designed it and all the time that it takes to get the little finicky adjustments you have to make to get it to just what you need it to be, which I think most people don't understand or think about that part.
Yeah, how would you know? Now, when people buy a 3D Puff Pro, I want them to notice there is a little circle on the top. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my prototype and the guys' prototypes, ours are burnt. And the reason is because these machines that make this are filled with oil, and they're pumping oil at all times. These things are all covered in oil. Everything that's going down is in oil. I mean, huge lots. And it's all recycled. It's all taken care of. It's not like they repurpose. They do everything, eco-friendly. But as much as you can for oil, but they reuse it. They clean it, and it's then made into other things. But at any rate, the end tool burns when it's coming off of the very last process. It makes this little circle. And the guys in the screw shop said, "Hey, we can buff that out." And I said, "No, I like that circle." So us guys have a burnt ones, but everybody else just has a circle, and it's left with intention. That was left.
I like it.
Yeah. So that's why it has that.
Well, good grief. We have more comments here. You're popular apparently because everybody likes to, though Cindy and Adam are having a whole conversation in the comments. Adam said thank you to Cindy for her compliment that she gave him. And then she said, Adam, I posted something on Facebook and hashtagged it. Yay. And then he said, thanks, Cindy. I have to go through Facebook. Been busy with school lately. They give homework to 5th graders. Not fun. That sucks. And apparently Sweden would like your tools now, please.
Oh, we can make that happen actually in Sweden. So here's the deal. I ship internationally. I also have international vendors. I also seek international vendors. I don't have anyone in Sweden. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. This is one. The other product, I can get everything over to anywhere except for hook wash. Because it's
hook wash probably because of the formulation.
It's an aerosol, and so it has to go ground or barge. Now we did look at getting it into Australia, but because I have guys there and they're wonderful, so simple, really good people in Canberra, but it has to barge, and the shipping is just since COVID, it's just And now, okay, so I don't know if everybody knows this, but in case you don't, I'm going to share a little tidbit with you. And as shippers, you probably do know, but USPS has decided to bless us with a little additional so that they can slow our mail down a little more. So everybody's got a higher price now through, I think, what is it, January 1st or something, December 31st?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we all have like another 50-cent added tariff or something, so.
Well, I'll say this Ghosta, you need to go here and get in touch with Jerilee and talk about who she should talk to in Sweden to get those over to you guys, because she would do that.
So I'm the owner, and that's going to come to me. So you can hit me up there, and it'll come right to me, and I'll respond to you via email, and we can work that out. And this is, okay, what else would you like to know?
Well, first of all, I'm going to hit this comment here. Carolyn says we need to send these to Vitor in Brazil, too.
Yes, I know. And we are working on that. And the shipping to Brazil, it's the duties. I mean, so let's talk about shipping for a minute because it's necessary. Unfortunately, in Brazil and some other places, when we send things to Luis, he is hit with some substantial duties. So we're very careful how we send things to him. We've been hit with duties sending things substantial. And once the shipper has your card, they're glad to take your money. So we always have to be really careful. So we are getting some things ready for Luis. He does have a needlies. We have sent him some things in the past, and we are sending him this. Absolutely.
Yay.
In fact, Luke Carmody of So Simple asked me to get this going. But we're collecting some other things for Luis is what's going on. That's why nothing's gone. And then I need to get with the guy and figure out, do we send it gift? Do we send it sent? Because one time he got something sent and he had a $600 bill for samples.
Yeah, I know when I was at Enmart, we sent him stuff a couple of times, and it was quite a thing to figure out how to make that work. And I
Do.
have to get in Justin's comment here too. Justin says he couldn't have done it without all of his nerds. So there you go.
It's a team effort. See, like our group, the four of us, the nucleus of us, I will say this, Christine, is unusual. And it's like the synergy that the four of us create. We all work really well together, and we all have some incredibly great talents together. And what we bring in separately is just simply off the hook. So we've got these guys are brainiacs. Okay, they're scary. They scare me. They scare me a little. They're so freaking smart. And like, really, I mean, you just don't even know. Wait, you'll get a taste of my everyday life. And I love it. But yeah, it's a group effort. And Justin is always very gracious. He designed I'm sorry, my camera. He designed this little sticker. And I do send, we did a run of stickers, and we did forget to put
there you go.
The bottom part on the site. So I send these out, and what they are is they're like the kind you squeegee on, you rub it back off. And so every time somebody's getting a Puff Pro, they get an extra sticker too until we're
there you go.
Yeah. So
nice, a little gift.
Yeah, it's a gift.
So we're getting, like I said, this hour goes fast. Let's talk about the people who are on my cup here.
Yes.
And your group, because I think you guys are doing amazing things for the industry and for embroidery. And it was so fun to meet you all in Fort Worth and see the love that you have for the craft that you do.
Mm-hmm.
And so how did you guys, let's start with this. What's the origin story of Embroidery Nerds? How did you guys all get together?
I can't really give you that information.
You don't know?
Well, I'm going to tell you where I came in. Okay. I'm going to tell you from where I came in, because Jeff and Matthew okay. So we actually have shirts that have our numbers on them as when we came in. Okay. Jeff is nerd 1, Matthew's nerd 2, I'm nerd 3, Justin's nerd 4. And so the way that this came to be, the way that I became a nerd, and we're almost 4,000 strong now.
Mm-hmm.
The way that I became a nerd is I had a little bit of a life-changing event that was quite a little surprise. And it was abrupt, and it was in winter, and I ended up moving far away, far away from Coeur d'Alene, where I am now, where I live, where I have a home now, my own home. I moved down to Haley, Nevada. What? Ooh, man, I really went. No, I was dreaming there. No, I went to Haley, Idaho, which, if people don't know, that's Sun Valley, it's Ketchum, it's all that, very artsy, very small. There, and moved in with a friend of mine. And that's when I segued very quickly from digitizing and became a tool manufacturer exclusively. It was during that time. It was like, oh, hi, I guess we're going to do that. So I did. And so I have Needleys, which I've had hook wash since 2008. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Needleys, let's see. So 2008, hook wash is a product that I brought out in 2008. Needleys came out in like a couple years ago. So I was putting these out. I changed the colors of the collar. This is a problem one. Okay, I have to fix it. Okay, so
yeah, I know. I saw there's like lime and
those are going to be the handles. Okay?
Oh, those are the handles.
Yes, those are going to be the handles.
Okay.
So, but I have Needleys, and so Jeff contacted me one day, and where I lived, I didn't have privacy. Okay, it was very tight living quarters, and I lived there for 7 months, and so I was in the garage a lot. But remember, it's in the dead of winter. Okay, Haley gets, 7 feet of snow. It can. Okay,
Ooh.
No country people. I wasn't in a heated friggin' garage. Okay, so I had this little oil heater, but that's where I would go. I did a lot of work in the garage. But in this case, I got in my truck and I turned on my heater and I went over and I parked in a parking lot to talk to this dude, because this person who I didn't know which the reason he'd contacted me to see if he could get a group discount for this little tiny group he had. The group, the Embroidery Nerd, had 187 people in it by the time I got there. And immediately, like one day, I was just an admin. It was just happened. I was just like, oh. But what had happened, and that was at the 187 point. It was very small. But we started talking about this on the phone for 3 freaking hours. We were in the dead of night. I didn't know where he was. I didn't care about the time zone. He didn't care about the time zone. We talked digitizing for 3 hours straight. It was like my heart. Oh my God. It was like going back home. Somebody was there to catch, that somebody who was freaking interested and who had,
right.
And I was like, oh my God. I thought this guy has something. Now, I've been in this industry since 1998, and I have never, not once. I would have if I could have caught him in time. If I had been more advanced, I'll tell you who that was in a minute. But I saw Jeff. I saw what he has. I saw his skill. I saw his fervor. And I saw that he can't help but be great. He does not have a choice but to break every rule and every way and to break out big and to bring new things, which he's done. The fuller border, nobody could do that. Hundreds of people have tried. It's been done for decades. People have tried to break that faux marrow look. Jeff did it. An up and comer, man. He's now very experienced. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When we met, he was like so hungry and so needed it. And because of that, he drew information out of me and brought me back to life in this industry. And I'm not joking. He brought me back after this situation that was devastating. It affected every area of my life. And it was just after I'd had surgery and I was in recovery of 4 months or 6 months into a 18 to 2 year recovery where you get your memory and where you can function. And like, I still couldn't talk on the phone. I had panic attacks. My memory was shot. There was so much I couldn't do. And he would sit there and I had meltdowns and we became really good friends over that one phone and that thing. And it was all over this freaking tool. That's how we met. So then through him, I met Matthew, and the two of them began to lift me up. And if I'm really working not to cry about this crap. Okay. And I don't mean crap. I'm just saying, like, this is like these two men.
No, I get it.
And they brought me back to the industry that I needed to be in and that I loved. And because of, and another guy helped me too. His name is Dingo, and he is in Indiana. He helped me save this business. There was a major flaw. And if Dingo had not stepped forward, his real name is Donnie, but he goes by Dingo and has forever. And if he had not stepped forward, I would have lost this. But I had several men step up, and I had several women step up and lift me when I couldn't walk. And so the nerds became my family. They became my food. They became where I could go eat. They became where I could go be alive, where I could go figure things out, because I still couldn't see my software. I still couldn't use my software.
Right.
My brain was not functioning. So Jeff came in, and he didn't know. He just knew that there was a thing. He had a group. He would like to get a discount, please, because he really liked the tool. And then we just went like that. We just became soul friends, And then Matthew, same. Like when the donut came out, it's a screwdriver. I named it the donut. Maybe not the best name, but I named it the donut because it has a hole in the middle. Okay, true fact, and it's cute. Okay, it's cute.
Well, there you go.
Okay, it's cute and it's small. And what it is it's a tiny screwdriver. It's not tiny. It's got some, action. But it's the color is actually azurite. It's a crystal. And Jeff helped me with this. He picked out this color. Jeff is like, listen, people don't even know. And Matthew as well. So here's the deal. When I got this going, Matthew got one and he said, well, buy cracky that. He didn't say buy cracky, but he said that thing needs a holder. And so one day he said, Jerilee, do you like surprises? And I was thinking, that last one was a real doozy, And but I thought, well, it's probably not even similar. And I said, kind of depends. And he said,
yeah.
He said, watch your mail. And I'm like, kind of depends still. So what he sent me was a donut caddy, which now I've printed this one. Oh, by the way, these are
that's so cute.
So he sent me a caddy, and I don't have a magnet in this one yet, but this goes, it like sucks onto anything. It goes on to, if you have a magnet like this and you're near metal, it will suck you in. It's that kind. It's the man-made. Because here's the deal. These things, when you have the donut in it, it can be upside down on your machine. Okay.
Ooh, nice.
Okay, so have I not sent you one of these? Don't tell me I have not.
I don't think so.
You won't. You're gonna get everything here and everything more. Oh, and I should have a hook wash. I have a brand new label too. It's got.
Well, you're more than welcome to send them to me, but I wouldn't have anything to do with them. Yes, I don't embroider.
Yes, but you know what? Here's the deal. This here is not just for embroidery. I'm going to.
That's true. That's cool.
Well, I use this to put the racks back on my truck.
There you go.
Came with it. This is an inch high. Matthew used it in the jets that he flies in for the Air Force, and he's a computer guy, and he used it behind the computer panels.
There you go.
Used it to put on. I used it to put on my license plates. My old roommate used it. Our mailbox over there wasn't good, so he used it to get inside and use it. So I use Danae's hardware. Okay?
Yeah, that will definitely.
UPS uses this. You can use it. Car mechanics use it. You can put it on the hood. Interchangeable.
Well, I'll say this. You are a hell of a salesperson for your stuff. I love it.
It used to be. Okay. And hook wash, NASCAR race car circuit. Safe on plastics, engines.
Really? NASCAR is using it?
They were. I don't know if they are. I don't know how it got there. You can use it on, it's rust deterrent. You can get rust off. You can use it on your lawnmower. You can use it on your skateboard. You can use it on your paintball guns. Girl.
I haven't been on a skateboard in a lot of years, but
you can use it. You can use it on your locks. This stuff is like phenomenal. No, it's not like WD-40. Oh, also, let me address one little thing. I just want to segue here. There's another product out there. I'll name names. It's called Alba Wash, and they've termed it Hook Wash, which is a trademark term, by the way. Trademark term. Hook Wash, trademark. I own that. Okay. Hook Wash and Alba Wash are not the same. Alba Wash knocked it off. That's cool. That's chill. Don't call it Hook Wash. It's not Hook Wash. Please don't people think it's Hook Wash. They don't smell the same. They're not the same. My product has very high products and quality products in it. Okay. I use petroleum-based oil and not a lot. Okay. You're not supposed to use it for a lubricant. Please don't. It lubricates and cleans. It's not a lubricant. Please don't. Okay. What Alba Wash does is it's 50% mineral oil. Might be wrong on the percentage, but I've had requests from manufacturers to quit labeling it lubricant in Canada because it's ruining machines. And I said, that's not my product. I'm not in Canada yet.
Yeah.
But I'm going to Canada. But anyway, that's my product. So there's a billion and other, that's going to go into Home Depot. Fishermen use it. We often find that on fishing reels. If it's not in the embroidery room, it's used on fishing reels.
So it's got a lot of.
Yes.
I'm laughing at these comments here because Jamie says so many cool gadgets for embroidery.
Yeah, I got some.
Cindy says, I love all the nerds, and she's shouting that one.
Yep.
Apparently, Jeff knows the origin story, so I'll have to ask him when I get to interview him.
He knows it all.
Ghosta is definitely pushing for all the stuff for the Swedish market because he's like, let me have all the stuff.
I just can't get the Hook Wash over there because unless I barge it, and to barge it, I have to send over 1,526 cans.
Ooh.
Just a little.
Well, and right now with all the backups for everything anyway, I don't know how well that would work.
We don't need it. We don't do it. We don't do that.
You don't do the shipping delays, or you don't send stuff to Sweden?
No, I ship to Sweden. I'm not doing any shipping delays. If it has to go that way, we won't do it until we can do it right.
Oh, well, that's the way to do it, honestly.
Yep.
Definitely the way to do it. So, oh my gosh, so much stuff. And we're already almost an hour. I told you, it goes really, really fast. But the last thing that I want to ask you about is the story that you told me before we started, where you were talking about the
foods.
For people who don't know, Jerilee had a tumor and it was taken out surgically, and she's fine now, but she had a really rough time. But one of the things that you were talking about is the role that you thought food and yoga and all that kind of stuff played in your Jeff's voting for bonus time already. I think you're probably right, Jeff. But all the role that stuff has played in your recovery. So
well, I'll share that, and I'll try to. Okay, so I became really, 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 really ill. I was sleeping like 16, 18 hours a day. Nobody could tell me why. I had anemia. So I was taking shots of Floridix. I mean, like not shot.
Right.
Okay, it's nasty taste and stuff. But if you're low on iron, go there. It's good for you, and it's gluten-free and all that. So, and it's, I think, from Germany. I think that product's from Germany, but you can find it in any health food store, Floridix, if you're low on iron. Okay, so I'm not a doctor, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm not saying you go do anything that you shouldn't do. All right. I was diagnosed with hyperparathyroidism, and that was found through routine blood test. Routine blood test. People, listen up. Routine blood tests. This disease affects women more than men. It does affect men. It's often shrouded under the guise of depression. Okay, you're depleted. You're tired. You're like not feeling well. You're exhausted. You're moody. You can't do. You know, you're foggy. All these things. It's because calcium is racing through your brain. Calcium. You have a tumor. Hyperparathyroidism. I had a tumor on one of my parathyroid glands. Thyroid looks like a butterfly. That's here. On the back of that, you have one parathyroid gland on back of each of those wings of your thyroid. Those 4 glands regulate your calcium. My calcium levels were 10.5. They're not supposed to be that. Practitioners are saying, oh, that's just a little elevated. We don't know why you don't feel well. It's just a little elevated. People, I was dying. I was dying. I was for a heart attack. The tumor, the parathyroid glands regulate the calcium. When one doesn't work, when one is tumored or 2 are tumored, I had 1, okay? But when one is like that, it puts the other 3 to sleep. And what happens is calcium just rushes through your body. That's why I was in line for a heart attack. I mean, like I had only 1 or 2 symptoms at the very end that I should be with the organic farmers in the sky, okay? I was close. And one of them was heart attack. And I was almost there. It's a fatal disease that's curable, but you have to have surgery. There's no other way. Me being me, I didn't think that. I thought, oh, no. I can fix this, because she told me that I had high calcium. And so then it segued into, you need surgery. And I said, ain't no doctor cutting on my throat. Oh, no, because I do have a scar. You can't even see it, okay? But that's because I went to the best. Oh, now I can feel it right there. Okay. Anyway, it's there. But I went to the best parathyroid place and thyroid place in the world, and it's in Tampa, Florida. Okay, and I forget what it's called. I should know that. Oh, it starts with an N. But anyway, Norman. Anyway, if you have this disease, if you have a high calcium, get checked. I'm not joking. If you have 10.5 or something like that, get checked and make somebody look, because you're dying. You're dying if you have what I had. So anyway, I was sure that I could cure this with food. I was wrong, but I cured a lot of other stuff. But anyway, you know, I'm pretty healthy. I'm 67. I'm pretty healthy. I'm only on 1 medication. That's it, folks. 1. Okay. I juice every day, blah, blah. But anyway, I felt that yoga could help because, and I'm a massage therapist too. But I felt yoga could help because, I'm a big believer in the chakra system and in energetic movement. I know these things to be true from my own experiences. So I believed that worked, and it did help. But my throat chakra was closed because I didn't say my true feelings. I was stuffing stuff. I was fat, people. I was a fat girl when all this was going down. 180 pounds. I am a little lady. I'm not.
Yeah, you're not 180 pounds on you would have been pretty big because you're tiny.
Yeah. And you know why? Because I wasn't speaking. I was stuffing. And I got sicker and sicker and sicker until I almost died from stuffing. And, you know, it was just, I was like really bloated and just, oh my God, miserable, sleeping. Nothing was working. Nobody could tell me anything that would work. So this PA that discovered the high calcium said, you need surgery right now. And I'm like, love you, sister, but I'm not down. Okay. So I lived in Sedona, which if anybody knows about Sedona, I've been called there twice. I'm a big believer in following where I'm called. And so I called there twice, and I did live there. You do your work when you're there. But there was some amazing healers there. And I don't mean woo. Okay. Some of it is that. I am that person. I do woo, and it works. Okay. I'm a Reiki master. I'm also a massage therapist. So, and I do these things. But at any rate, I
do woo. That made me laugh.
I do woo. And my wrist, they say Om Shanti. And that means world peace in Sanskrit. So that every time I reach out to people, it's Om Shanti. Om Shanti.
I love it.
Because that's what I want. That's all I've ever wanted. I've had these on my wrist forever, but that's what it means. Okay, so I went to a wrong tattoo place, and the dude was obviously a biker dude or something, and he put them on really big. I just wanted Om Shanti instead of Om Shanti. And I'm like, okay, fine. But once the ink is on, what can you do? It's not like
once it's on, there isn't a whole lot you can do.
Yeah, and the wrists really hurt, peeps. Okay.
Yeah, I admire you for that one, because I have a scar on one from where they had to do a cut down one time, and ow.
Well, he started, and I was like, oh, it's too late. It's already so, but that hurt. I have other tattoos, but none quite like that. But anyway, so ultimately what I think you're referring to is when I drove 12 and a half hours one way from Sedona to a fermentation class in Santa Barbara, California. The woman does not live in Santa Fe. Well, she might, or Santa Barbara. I mean, she might now. She was speaking of moving there, but her name is Donna Schwenk, Schwenk. Donna Schwenk. You want this chick. Now, she will charge you a lot to go on her site, like I think $96 or something. But it used to be, this was years ago now, but you would have access to her and her daughter and ask them direct questions, which was like really cool. But I have a page called Jerilee's Kitchen. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's not going to cost you squat. It's on Facebook, and I'm fermenting. I ferment kombucha. I ferment. Oh yeah. I'm a cook too. I'm a cook. Did I mention I'm a cook? So I went.
You did.
I did. I drove all the way over there to see Donna. She didn't know me from Adam, but I drove over there to this 3.5 hour class because I was sure that food was the answer to my illness, which in great many ways it was. Our serotonin is not made in our brain. I know people think that is. It's not. It's made in the belly. It's made in the belly. Serotonin is made in the gut. If you do not have good gut health, you do not have good health. If you don't feel well, it's because your gut is out of whack. Please believe me on this. You have to have good probiotics in the gut. If you have like a sugar, like if you have candida, which is like sugar, like a yeast, like sugar overload and all sorts of crap, your body can't function. Okay. It's based on also how you eat. I'm a very clean eater. Okay. I am a vegetarian. I used to be hardcore vegan. Because I have a lot of allergies, I can't do that because it wasn't good for me. Veganism, I couldn't survive. I'm allergic to, chocolate. Go ahead, cry for me now. I'm crying.
That would be tough.
Oranges, I know, eggs, that was another one. There's a lot of stuff like that, but I'm also allergic to wheat. That's fine.
Ooh.
Yeah, but you can do it now. And back when I started this journey, which was, I don't know, 30, 40 years ago, finding out I was allergic. Yeah, it was 42 years ago. I found out I was allergic to wheat. Listen, you were a hungry girl. There was nothing. But now, so I went vegan for a while, and it just wasn't good for me because I didn't do enough research to figure out how I could survive on veganism. And I was a junk food vegan. And I got fat too because I ate a lot of junk because it's good. Yeah. It was good. So anyway, I went over to Donna's class and I learned how to ferment cabbage. I learned how to make sauerkraut, which I have fresh sauerkraut in the fridge. I learned kombucha, which I send out starters if anybody wants to learn kombucha. I'm glad to do that. Kefir is another one, fermented milk. I don't do that anymore, but I made a lot of kefir cheese also, which is like the bomb. It's like farmer's cheese. Also, I trained in an Ayurvedic kitchen, three different yoga trainings. I was in an Ayurvedic kitchen in a yoga training center in Sedona. So I have a lot of knowledge, and that's where I was going into the yoga then, because to get like my throat opened up and to like start building my courage and to find out what the heck was causing my issues. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say, if you're ill, you bring that on. Okay. What I'm going to say is, if you're ill, for me, when I'm ill, my body is responding to something, and it's something that I need to address. Okay. And in my case, I needed to address the fact that I wasn't speaking my truth.
Well, guess what? That can cause a lot of problems. I would agree with you there.
Yeah, and it did. So now I speak my truth. I also ferment. I have a whole kitchen channel now. I've got that going on. Let's see what else. Yeah, I do
all sorts of stuff. So the page for the cooking and the recipes and all that is Jerilee's Kitchen.
Yeah, that's on Facebook.
Okay, so everybody needs to go look for that. And Cindy is saying that you should hook up with Kylene, Aaron Montgomery's wife. She does healthy cleaning and stuff like that, and she's got I wish I remember the name of it. It's something beauties, but it's all about natural living and healthy stuff and all that. So you should check her out. Her name's Kylene, Kylene Montgomery. She's awesome. Aaron Montgomery's wife.
Nice.
And then Beth said, I'm really enjoying this episode. Me too, Beth. This is fun.
Well, so you know what else? I not only do all that, but I also live with an herbalist.
Well, there you go. So you could have a whole nother business here.
Oh, wait. Oh, well, she does. We do. It's called, she does. I sell her items, herbal elementals. I also have an Etsy store called Sunfacer Studio. My YouTube channel is called Sunfacer Studio. And I'm going to tell you how Sunfacer came to be really quick.
Please.
How that came. And Jeff helped me with that. This is Jeff also. By the way, Jeff drew my logo. He created that logo, and then he went out to a friend of his who's a professional graphic person and traded stuff for this logo. Okay. I have thank you cards and all that. Laura McGaffney, by the way, I want to shout her. She did all my thank yous and everything and did all my things, but the motto on all of my things, always face the sun.
Yeah.
Always face the sun. So the reason that that my logo is Sunfacer, I grew up in Southern California, and my nickname when I was a kid, when I was, growing up, not as a kid, because I wasn't very sunshiny. I was a girl growing up. I wasn't that fun. But as I grew older, when I got older, my nickname was Sunshine. And so then I went to the service and all that, and I became Sunshine there too. And so it just went on. But sunflowers has always been a really big thing for me. And something that, but also so is positivity and the belief that there's a reason for everything, even when it's the worst thing ever. Okay. And there's bad things, lots. And I can't explain them all. I can't justify it. I'm not trying to. For me, my belief is that there's always something going to be able to be okay. And that I need to get through that, whatever it is, and find my growth and find where, find the path and just be okay. I mean, you can sit and you can wallow and you can bitch and you can moan and you can point. And you know what? All that does is make you sick. Why? We're here this time now. Make it count. Be here now. So I named the companies. Jeff and I were sitting there and I said, I need to rebrand. I had to hurry up and change my company name. And from what it was in a dual partnership, and I was no longer suddenly allowed to use that name. And so I had to hurry up. And so I was like, I don't know. So I came up with Needlies. Come on, really? Is that really a fun name? Needlies LLC. So seriously. So Jeff and I were talking. I said, man, I just really seriously need to rebrand. And so he said, well, he said, well, what about this? What about this? And I said, well, then there's this like the spring company. And he said, what's your passion? He said, just really think about it. And I was like, And I said, Sunfacer. And he said, Sunfacer. And I thought he was going to say, no. And he didn't, because Jeff isn't like that. Jeff is a very unique human being. And he said, let's talk about that. Why did you choose that? What made that come for you? And I said, always face the sun, Jeff. You just always, no matter what, have to face the sun. Sunfacer. That's what I do. I'm a sunfacer. And that's how it was born. Sunfacer Manufacturing and Supplies.
I love it.
That's it.
That's great. And I think I just want to say real quick, I think you are so right that you have to be positive and you have to keep figuring out, you can wallow in the bad crap that happens to you, but if you can figure out what the lesson is and you can figure out what you can take away from it,
yep,
you're going to be that much better. That was one of the biggest lessons I ever learned, because I was really, really negative when I was young because I thought I'd gotten a shit deal in a lot of ways.
Yep.
And
well, you do. I did. Did. And you did, I'm sure. I mean, when we feel like we're getting a crappy deal, we did. Okay.
Right.
What you choose to do with it. Life ain't fair. And you're going to get served some real garbage. And did you deserve it? Nope. Did you earn that? Nope. But are you going to wallow in it and take it and think that the person who served it was right and that you deserve that? No, you're going to shed that, move on and say, see, you wouldn't want to be a bye. That's all.
Yeah. And you're going to learn from it and take the lessons you learn and help other people, because that gives it meaning.
Right. So, and you're going to move on and go be happy. And you're going to go about things. And by the way, if anybody wants to know what these are actually, and Christine, I'll send you these too. I actually use these to store my screws in, because I use a lot of screws. I really use a lot of screws. But like this one has this on it. So for any screw that's this shape, these have a, here, come on. When you get older, your pads don't work like they used to. But there it goes. So you kind of got it. Okay, it's a different color for a reason. That's so you can see it. There we go. Anyway, this little doohickey does come off, and it doesn't want to right now. But so does this.
Well, that's because you're on camera. If you weren't on camera, it'd be fine.
Yeah, and this comes off too. See, I store things.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
This comes off. This is a storage thing, and I have several for my different screws, so that I had them in these little plastic bins, and I was just like, this is so much more fun. So I do whatever I can in my life to make my life fun. So this is the newest thing coming out today, and it is glow in the dark.
Ooh, so you can find your donut when you need it.
And I'm going to be making other things too out of this. So I just like to print things. I like to do things, and I like to make people happy things. Life is good.
I like it. I like it a lot. And Cindy said about Kylene, Kylene is K-Y-L-E-N-E. That's the correct spelling. And one of her groups is Empowered Beauties. That was what I was trying to think of.
Awesome. Nice.
So you should check her out. You guys could maybe have some synergy there. She's a good lady. She's a nice lady too.
Fun.
So
fun. Thank you so much for having me. This is just, it was so great seeing you in Texas and finally getting to hug you and to, I know they said no hugs, and I said, really? Stop it.
Oh, screw it. I knew I was hugging everybody that would let me.
Try to catch me. I can run.
Well, I'd been vaccinated, and my doctor was like, you're probably okay. So I was, let's just go for it.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to go see my peeps. And it really gave me, that Texas show gave me the boost I needed again to just keep going. Oh, and by the way, one thing I'm trying to do here, and I'm working hard on it, and I think it's actually going to pull off. In fact, I'm positive of it. It's going to happen. I'm bringing embroidery machines here to the Pacific Northwest. I have.
Cool.
The home I have has it's commercial property also. It's a really nice place, and I've got a large building out here where I've already talked to a few. I've got irons in the fire, and it's happening to where I'll
so you're going to have like a store?
I'm going to have a showroom, an embroidery machine showroom.
Ooh, how exciting.
Yes. And there's 3 brands that I've considered only, and I will not name those. And there's I've got some in the happening in the works, and it just takes a lot of time to get this stuff running, what I've discovered. But I do intend to have a showroom out here. And because we have nothing, there's one up in Seattle, but it's it's for ZSK, and it's all technical. And it's like, well, but we got nothing. Okay. We've got all these states. I'm in the panhandle of Idaho. I'm next to Montana, Spokane, I'm right here. Right here. And so, I have this space. It's here. It's not going to cost the machine manufacturers a cent. I want their machine. And also they'll be training people, and I will not actually be doing the training because, again, my brain doesn't work like it used to in embroidery, because now I haven't done it. Okay. In fact, I willingly gave over my software. I gifted my Pulse software, which once was $20,000. I want people to know, when you get inexpensive software, be grateful. We all pay 20 grand. Okay. And so, but you know, it was worth the money. I mean, to me, my education is worth that. So, but anyway, so I also don't have that. And so will I be training on some software? Yeah. Am I the digitizer, a world-class digitizer anymore? I'll never be that. I can't be that. I had that. I had that title. I had that work. My work is good. What it was fantastic. I'll never do it again. So I'm bringing out people. Guess who's coming?
Who's coming? Jeff
Fuller of Fuller Embroidery Works, Justin Armenta of J Advertising, and Eric Campbell, of course. You know, all the biggies, Lee Caraselli, of course. Anybody that these are my friends, these are my personal friends. I'm pretty sure I can tap them to get them coming out.
I want to come just to hang out.
Well, okay, you're coming too. We'll have you up here. I got a big house that we can all, you know, do. And yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. It's going to be really good. I've got plans for this area. And what with the way that I eat and with my health and with the tumor removal, I have a problem. And and I'm not joking here. I have so much energy. I don't have places to put it all. And that's why I work like I do. Is like, before this, I couldn't make a phone call. Before this, I couldn't remember words. I couldn't remember large words. I would snap. Like I had such high anxiety that everything, if anything happened, I was like in fight or flight. And it was usually fight because I couldn't flight anymore. I didn't have anywhere. And I was like, "Wah!" And I couldn't control these things. It was like, it was not a good time for me, for anybody. But that's what happens when you have a disease. And thank God for my friends for picking me up after that and not out there because I was hurting for certain. And without my friends, I wouldn't be where I am. But I am now because of that. But anyway, now I have so much energy. And I lost a lot of time in my life because of that disease. And I lost of goodness, a lot of things that I could do. Well, now I can do them. And so I'm doing. So that's why.
So you're doing all the things because now you can.
Because I can, because I have the energy. And so I get it. And so I plug in, and so it's like, let's get this going. And the fermentation, I've got starts going. I've got my friend who I live with. Well, we now share this house. She has this beautiful garden. I've fermented cabbage right out of that garden. We have tomatoes out of the garden every day. We have
there you go.
So yeah. Anyway, that's my story.
Oh, God, this was so fun, and I'd love to keep going, but we're already almost in 15 minutes into bonus time, and I'm gonna just seriously check out Jerilee's kitchen. Check out. I'll put it up one more time. Where is it? There we go. Check out Sunfacer Manufacturing.
And then I have a Facebook page for Sunfacer. It's Sunfacer Manufacturing and Supplies.
There we go.
So I've
got that. And then there's the YouTube channel called Sunfacer Studio. And then there's the M Nerd group, but you're probably better off just searching Embroidery Nerd, because then you can. So there's all the things. You can find Jerilee everywhere.
Answer the questions in our group. We wrote those for a reason. We don't let you in if you don't answer the questions. Please answer.
Jeff says it's not bonus time until it's 15 minutes. I think it's bonus time if it's anything over an hour. And Ghosta says, love it all. So
it's been a good time. Thanks, guys, for being.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm going to pop you out and say goodbye and bye. Thank you so much, Jerilee. Oh, that was so fun. How much did we love that? Anyway, next week, another guest. Yes, 2 guests in a row. Can we stand it? Melissa Harris from Designs by Little B will be here. We're going to have a great talk about mental health and all sorts of other things, and I'm really excited about that. Thank you, everybody who was here today, for your comments and your participation. Thank you, Jerilee, for being the little ball of energy and positivity that you are. You're amazing. And it was so fun. Thank you all, everybody. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.